HLS Show Me How. Hi, my name is Michael Giannotti, and I'm a Microsoft Teams technology specialist working for Microsoft's Healthcare and Life Sciences Group. You can always find me as well as all of my colleagues on our blog at aka.ms/HLSblog. That's aka.ms/HLSblog. So today we're going to be taking a look at leveraging virtual tours in Microsoft's Viva Connections. You know, with the return to work, hybrid work all becoming a reality, familiarity with physical locations is again coming into play. And this really centers around a couple of scenarios. Number one, during this time as people were pushed into a remote work scenario, we've had folks that were hired on, new hires, who actually have never seen the inside of an organization's buildings. So as they're being brought onto physical locations, there is a need to show them and help them to navigate their way around campuses, buildings, etc., as well as to understand what is within any given facility, room, etc. And we'll get into that. The next one is around return workers who may be going to new locations. Look, you know, I've had a number of customers of mine talk frankly about the fact that they have begun efforts to consolidate buildings and no longer have so many physical locations where people go 7 days a week, all day, all year. Instead, they're consolidating, keeping some people remote, some people on premise, and even those on premise, like the last one says, may not be returning to a dedicated space anymore. In fact, they may be looking at existing spaces that have been set up as shared work environments, and there's a need to familiarize them as well. So, you know, we have a whole range of folks who may not be familiar with the settings, the physical settings they may be going to, returning to, and there is a need to help familiarize them to ease that transition back into the office. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use Microsoft Viva Connections and SharePoint Spaces, right? The first of which is this idea of bringing these virtual tours for employees where they can, from the comfort of their home, log onto a PC, they can be in there and they can actually take these tours of the various facilities that immerse them in a 360-degree environment that may have contextual information like videos explaining things or audio welcomes. There could be textual indicators and pop-ups or even documentation to print or to save locally. All kinds of things that are available to familiarize themselves with it, be it moving, you know, and seeing like a corporate headquarters, or even going into an operating theater in a hospital with which the physician or clinician may not be familiar with, and then being able to take a tour within it and see where all the various instruments are located, etc. So that is one of those things that SharePoint Spaces, as we'll see, can do very easily. And if you own SharePoint Online, you own it. You just may not know it. And I'll show you how to turn that on. Next up, we're going to be lighting all that up through Microsoft Viva Connections. Viva Connections provides the next generation intranet that can be highly tailored to people based upon their roles in an organization. And furthermore, instead of them having to go to it, it comes to them where they work within Microsoft Teams. And finally, we'll see some of the images that are there that I'm going to be showing today. And I want to give a shout out to Matt Chrysler from the SharePoint Spaces team. But we're going to see how you can actually use very high quality but low cost consumer grade devices like my favorite. Someday I'll get one of these, but in the meantime, I'm borrowing images. But you know, things like the Insta360 One X2 that can capture even beyond 4K to create stunning 360 images and 360 videos that can be leveraged within SharePoint Spaces to provide people that high quality immersive virtual tour. So with that, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at the rendering of SharePoint Spaces through Viva Connections to see what that experience might look and feel like. Then we'll go behind the scenes into SharePoint Modern Framework, into our intranet that we'll be accessing. But we'll do it behind the scenes. I'll show you where you can turn on Spaces, and then I'm going to show you some of the options available to you to go ahead and to add to any experience. It doesn't have to just be virtual tours. There can be 3D models for students of hearts and other applications. There's all kinds of great things we can do within there. I'll give you a quick rundown through it, but today we're going to focus on Spaces with the virtual tour aspect. We will be doing subsequent videos showing each of the Spaces aspects fully rendered. So let's go ahead and get into our demo. So here we are in our Viva Connections. As you can see, we've got the full intranet, and I can come out here. Here's that same intranet, right? It is in SharePoint Modern Framework. We have personalization of information, things being delivered, all kinds of goodies here. We've got the mega menu up top. You know, I can go in here. You can see something we're going to be leveraging, our headquarters virtual tours. We also have the universal nav over here. But we have lit this up in our Microsoft Teams environment using instructions on an earlier blog. I'll post a reference to them. It walks you step by step, and myself and one of my colleagues are also going to create a video showing you kind of walking through the setup of this as well. But having said that, here we are. There again, here's that full fidelity site. So under Find It, we'll come to this in just a moment. You can see here if I click the little icon, I get that universal nav over here, and all the things that we just saw are rendering through right within Microsoft Teams. And that's the beauty of it. So I can get it anywhere, anytime, any device, secure access. But we're here to talk about rendering out something special. So within our environment, what I set up, and I'll come on back here real quickly, under New, you'll note I have something called a space. Spaces allow me to set up 360 degree immersive environments where I can add a range of different objects or interactive elements within it. And we'll take a look at that in a bit. And we'll also take a look at how to light that up. But suffice it to say, I came here and I created what you are going to see that I'm rendering here under this Contoso Virtual Tour. So if I come out here, let's come on back, because this is where we want people to experience things. So here we have for an employee who's returning to work. Now I could have put this link anywhere. I put it under Find It. I put Contoso Virtual Tours, and I put just a single one. I have just a limited range of images to use. Maybe we'll build on that as time goes on if I can get ones from other folks. But here we have this piece. When I click on it, you'll notice it's going to look a little different from the SharePoint you're expecting typically, because it's SharePoint Modern Framework, and it is this capability called Spaces.
Virtual tours. Select your virtual tour.
So I don't know if you're able to hear that, but that was a greeting as you walk, as a person enters this. I said walk in because we want to simulate that movement through space for a person. So here I am, and I've got this virtual environment, and I've set up 3 virtual spaces. You can see here we have kind of these circular or orb-looking objects on here. And you know, it is a 360-degree environment with which I can navigate in. But we're going to go ahead and select this center one. And what a virtual tour does is, as I click that and we open it, it takes 360-degree images that are created in a 360 camera like an Insta360 One X2 or others by other vendors. And when that is placed within Spaces, you'll notice I can navigate in full 360. In fact, there's the tripod that was holding Matt Chrysler's one from the SharePoint Spaces team. You can see the little legs there. It knocked most of it out, but here we go. And so we have the ability to look all around. And in addition to that, we have elements that can be added. So here, I just added two simple ones. One was a textual mouse over, so you can see, hey, this is the Contoso Visitor Center. It's actually a picture of the Visitor Center at Microsoft. And if I wanted to then enter, I can move forward. And the beauty of virtual tours is they stitch together a number of these images. So I select. It's going to bring me to the next 360 image. And again, I can see all around. We can look at that. We can add additional elements. Here, there's going to be a video greeting.
Hi, welcome to the Microsoft Visitor Center. I hope you'll find your time here.
Just me in my home office here. You can see all the dirty mess in the background. But you get the idea. And the beauty of it is we can put many elements here. So what this affords somebody who is a part of this org is, again, we've brought the intranet to them. We have personalized delivery of content, even links if need be, right, that are here. But from here, from within Microsoft Teams where they work, without adding a whole bunch of icons here or tabs in a in a Microsoft team, instead we've brought the intranet and the full richness of it with linkage to things such as this virtual tour. And so as a user, as somebody who's returning to work, a new hire who's never been at a campus, I can actually come in then, and corporate is able to go out, use that low-cost consumer device, but high quality, capture these images, a series of them. And again, I'm just going to come on back to here real quick. You can have things that actually bring you from space to space, or return to space, and there goes me again. But you can see here's a different one. I click and it goes, and it can navigate to another. There's another click through which will bring me closer to this particular building. And again, then I can click through all kinds. Actually, I didn't put them in order, but you can see here how I'm able to go from environment to environment. So imagine coming up, going through the doors, entering the entranceway, and then going from room to room and having descriptions, videos, and all that's there. Again, a device that's sub $400 that's able to create all this rich content that you can render in SharePoint Modern Framework and then pull in using Viva Connections. It's a beautiful thing. So how does that work? Well, real quickly, I'm going to come on back to this SharePoint site, and natively you will not see spaces. You have to turn it on. So to do that, we're going to come on up to this little gear. I see it because I'm an admin of this site. I have rights to that. Normal users won't see and have access to that. I'm going to come here to site information. Then from here, I'm going to come on down. I'm going to select view all site settings. It's going to change that view for me. And here under site actions, we're going to select manage site features. If we come on down from there, we're going to see that we have the spaces is active. In your case, it will not be. And this is on a site-by-site basis. So we come in, we select activate. It's going to activate it. It's going to make it available on that home page. And let's come on back here. Once it's active, to create a space, I'm just going to quickly show you what that experience is. We're going to select new, select space. We can give it a name. I'll just say demo. I'm going to delete this after. I can pick a basic framework or structure. The one you saw was this here. Maybe we want something a little fancy. We'll click the arc. I could give it a description. I select create, and it's going to build it for me. There it is. You can see here is that space built. It has this nature outdoor background. I can change that simply by selecting space design. And then I can come in here. I can say, hey, for my background, I don't want one of these images. I want instead maybe an illustration, and I can select that. Or perhaps I want a color, and then I can select a color, which is what I did. We even have the option, if you have your own custom 360 file, you can drop that in here as well. So you have a wide range of options. Here's where you can add an audio welcome message, which is what I did. You also have the option for adding some, default sounds that are here: nature, wind, rain, music. It's all there in that design piece. Once we're satisfied with our design, we can then come in and select elements. And this is where we have this one, the 360 tour, where we're going to upload a series of images. And I'll go ahead and do that just to show you. But you can see we can do a single 360 image. We can do a 360 video where as people go through, maybe it's a walkthrough of the hallways with somebody talking and describing what they're seeing, but then allowing the user to maneuver and look to the points of view that they want to see, because all 360 degrees are captured in real time. I can do a 3D object, so like a 3D heart or other things that I want to manipulate and put in there. And again, we'll do these at a different time. I can have a 360 rendering of a document library. I can do a file viewer to pull up any of the Office documents or PDFs. An image space, I use these a lot because you can link them to something like, an event, like a Teams live event or something like that for virtual conferencing or conferences. I can do a people chart, a hierarchical view. I can add text in here, and I could drop in a video like you saw me do earlier for a welcome. But all that's there to do a 360 view. I click it. I then get this little roving piece until I select where I'm going to put it on the palette. I'm going to drop this one right there. It's going to ask me to go ahead and drop in some images. So I'm going to go ahead and select upload. And wait a minute, I did a video. So let's come on back. Let's get out of that. That is not what I wanted. I apologize. We're going to delete that. Yes, delete that one. I selected that. I want 360 tour. Here we go. So there you go. It looks almost like an overhead view of a drone. We'll drop that on. That's going to ask me to go ahead and add images. I'm going to come in here and I have under pictures, I have a 360 folder and I have a range of ones here. And I can pick, I'm going to just quick select some of those great ones that Matt Chrysler gave me. So I'm just going to say, let's say, boom, boom, boom. There we go. Select that. It's going to then say, okay, I'm going to say add. It's going to upload those files for me. And it's in process of doing so. They're now up. Now I can come back. I can do things like select this particular object. I can change the size of it. There's a range of things that we can do. I can change the size of the obelisk under. I can also select the edit function. Once I do that, notice there is an open tour builder. I can also affect some things like the podium size, the height. Do I even want to show a podium or not? Right? Go on or off. On the trigger, it says enter the 360 image. I can then open the tour builder. There's the three that I added. It's showing this as the home. If I want to change the default view, I can drag it. Say, set this as the starting view. Then notice how I have a plus sign. That's where I can go ahead and add elements. So let's say we'll annotate this image. I can add text, images, video, audio, a file, Office documents or PDFs, or a 3D object. We'll go ahead and put text here and I'll just say parking lot. I'm really, pretty edgy there. And so we'll go ahead, have that. And notice it's saying this is the home one. We can, of course, change that by going to a different one and selecting Start Tour with this image. But we're not going to do that. The next one, I'm just going to show you how to go to navigate to another image. So I'm going to select just a point. I haven't reviewed these, but it says link to a 360 image. When I click that, it asks me to link then to one of these. I'll go ahead and select this next one here. Typically, you would do this for the part that you were going to go to. You can give it a description, and I'll say next image, but it could be, entrance hall, room 3B, whatever you want, show description is on. So we can go to that. Then I can go and click on that image and it's going to open it up for me. I can further annotate this particular image by adding other elements. I'll just add one last piece. We'll go ahead and, this isn't it, but I'll just add one more link. I'll pick this particular one, say select. I'm just going to leave it. And then when we're done, we're going to select publish. Right? So there we go. We now have, here is that palette. We can add other things on here, but here's our virtual tour. I just did bare bones, but when I select it, it's going to allow me to come in. Again, there we go. I can see, oh, it's the parking lot. It could be a pop-up for a document. It could be a video, whatever we want to have here. But contextual information and training, I can also select this, navigate into the next image, which of course is full 360, and so on and so forth. It's simple, it's easy, and oh, by the way, look, if you have a headset, you'll be able to go and immerse yourself right within a headset as well. But then the beauty of it is all of this, right? All of this becomes available through, I'm going to quick copy this. This is to demo. I'm going to say edit. Let's go down here and let's say, where are we at? Values, what's happening, events, find it, virtual tours. So from here, I want to go ahead and create, I'll just call this one demo. I'm going to give it that URL that we just grabbed. Oops. There we are. I'm going to say OK. Good, that's right there. I'm going to say save. So now it should be here under find it. There's demo. Great. And now we'll go ahead back to here. Let's just refresh our browser. So now if I come in, we not only have our headquarters virtual tour, we now have the new one, again, that we can interact with. It's going to open that up. There it is. Enter, and so on and so forth. That simple. SharePoint Spaces, Viva Connections, hand in a glove, just works together to provide a rich, immersive experience with SharePoint Modern Framework being rendered via connections. And of course, we did it through the links up here, but it could be anything. It could be a news story. It could be a topic. It could be whatever you want on this page. So that's it. I mean, it's that simple, right? You turn on SharePoint Spaces in that home page, the modern framework that's coming through Viva Connections. Once you've turned it on, create a space. Take high resolution images using that low cost consumer device like an Insta360 One X2. Go through, you can create a whole tour of images, walkthroughs, and then you can then drop those into the virtual tour. You can annotate within each individual immersive image so that you can have videos explaining things. You can have pop-up lists, checklists, whatever the case might be. But any of that ancillary type content, be it text, be it a file, be it a video, be it an audio piece, all of that available that you can drop in and leverage within the confines of each, and then you can link them all together and provide people a rich walkthrough. So I hope you found this helpful. I hope it's got you thinking. If you have further questions around this or anything around Viva Connections or SharePoint Spaces, don't hesitate to ask. Again, you can find me and all my colleagues at aka.ms/HLS blog. That's aka.ms/HLS blog. Additionally, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. So feel free. You can find me at linkedin.com/in/Mike Giannotti. And finally, I've been on Twitter forever. Please follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Gennady. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you get started today and get on your path towards some very immersive, rich, quick hits with your organization that'll really wow folks, that will absolutely delight your users using SharePoint Spaces and Viva Connections together. And with that, thanks for watching. Take care, and as always, ciao.